50 years ago, the world witnessed a horrific scene when an alien civilization suddenly attacked Earth. These aliens, called Formics, resembled ants, but were far larger and more intelligent. As soon as they arrived, they wiped out millions of humans. However, military forces from around the world retaliated against the aliens, but the Formics were attacking with drones numbering in the millions. Many soldiers were martyred in that battle. In the end, a brave military commander, Mazer Rackham, flew his fighter jet directly into the alien mothership and, sacrificing his life, destroyed it. As soon as the mothership was destroyed, all the alien drones automatically deactivated, and the remaining aliens also died. Thus, thanks to Commander Mazer Rackham, humans won the war against the aliens 50 years ago. However, humanity remained confident that the aliens would sooner or later return to wipe out humans from Earth. They believed the Formics would certainly send more troops to attack again. Therefore, the armies of all countries united and spent 50 years preparing to give a befitting reply if the aliens ever attacked Earth again. For this purpose, an organization called the International Fleet was formed. Its goal was to find a brave commander like Mazer Rackham to lead their entire space-fighting force in the war against the aliens. They believed that young children, unlike adults, had the ability to make fast decisions and easily understand complex data, which could help them defeat the aliens. Because of this belief, they established a battle school. The school recruited the world's most intelligent children and trained them for war through space combat simulation games, so they could select the most intelligent child to become their fleet commander. This training was overseen by Colonel Hiram Graf, the director of the International Fleet, along with his colleague, Major Gwen Anderson. Tracking chips were implanted in the necks of the children attending the school, allowing the colonel and the major to monitor them closely and test their mental abilities. Among these children was Ender Wiggin, whose incredible gaming strategies amazed Colonel Graf. There was no one in the school who could defeat Ender in a space war game. One day, Ender was playing a space war game with Stilson, a senior student at the school. At the same time, the colonel and the major were sitting in their cabin, carefully monitoring Ender's gaming strategy. During the game, Stilson aggressively chased Ender's ship. However, Ender cleverly maneuvered Stilson's ship between two asteroids and destroyed it. Ender's excellent strategy impressed the colonel, but Stilson began accusing Ender of cheating. Stilson challenged Ender to another game, but Ender, strong-willed and confident, rejected the challenge and started to leave. Stilson and his friends then grabbed Ender and dragged him into an empty room. Stilson was extremely irritated and pushed Ender, challenging him to a one-on-one fight. Ender became enraged. He picked up a wooden model and struck Stilson, knocking him to the ground. Still, Stilson's arrogance did not fade, and he began threatening to kill Ender. Hearing this, Ender kicked Stilson so hard that he could no longer get up. The colonel and the major, sitting in their cabins, witnessed the entire incident. After some time, Ender was called to the medical room, where the tracking chip in his neck was removed, and he was dismissed from the school. Ender was deeply saddened by this decision. After returning home, Ender told his elder sister, Valentine, everything that had happened at school. After listening to him, she explained that he had acted in self-defense and that Stilson and his friends would never bother him again. Hearing this, Ender finally felt at peace. Ender loved Valentine deeply because she was the only one in the family who truly understood him. However, Ender's older brother, Peter, hated him because Peter had been expelled from battle school due to his violent temper. Peter constantly made Ender feel that he was not fit to be a commander and was nothing more than a weak child. Later that night, while having dinner, Ender and his family were watching the news. A military officer announced that the Deep Space Research Program had discovered that the aliens were preparing for war again. and this time their army was 10 times larger than before. Therefore, humanity now had to prepare even more aggressively for the coming war. Meanwhile, Colonel Graff and Major Gwen arrived at Ender's house. They informed Ender's parents about everything Ender had done at school. The Major then said to Ender, "I understand that you hit Stilson in self-defense, but Ender, Stilson had already learned his lesson from the first hit. So why did you kick him so hard? Were you enjoying beating him?" Ender replied proudly, "My first hit was to defeat him, but I wanted to make sure he would never challenge me again, so I hit him further. Now, he will never dare to mess with me again." Hearing this, Ender's mother became angry with him. However, the colonel then stood up and said to Ender, "Congratulations, Ender. You have graduated from battle school." Hearing these words, Ender and his parents were shocked. The colonel continued, "Whatever Ender did to that boy, his strategy has impressed me greatly. It is not enough to simply defeat your enemy. You must break him in such a way that he can never rise again for battle. Ender, you have the makings of a brave commander. So tell me, are you ready for further training?" Filled with pride, Ender agreed with the colonel. He said goodbye to his family and his sister Valentine, and then left with the colonel for the spaceport. The colonel led him to a spacecraft, where there were other students just like Ender. Ender went inside and sat in his seat. Soon, the spacecraft broke free from Earth's gravity, reached space, and docked with a massive space station orbiting the planet. Ender and the other new students exited the spacecraft and entered a room inside the space station where their beds were located. Near each bed was a locker containing a special spacesuit and a gun. Just then, an officer arrived. Seeing him, all the students immediately stood at attention. In a very stern tone, the officer said, "My name is Sergeant James Dapp, and you are now in battle school. From today, this is your home, and you will live here as a team. Your training will begin in 5 minutes. All of you, put on your suits and follow me." The sergeant led everyone to a chamber behind him, where the colonel was already present. The colonel said to the students, "Welcome to battle school. On the other side of this chamber is your battle room, where you will receive combat training." Saying this, the colonel placed a device on his hand and used it to open the door to the battle room. The battle room was circular, with triangular shields placed at various points. There was another door at the far end. The colonel explained, "Right now, you are in artificial gravity, but as soon as you enter the battle room, gravity will disappear. You will have to train in zero gravity." After saying this, the colonel instructed Ender to enter the battle room first. Ender floated into the room, but it was difficult for him to stay stable in zero gravity. He kept bumping into the shields before finally stopping in one place. Soon after, the other students entered the battle room as well. All of them were excited by this new experience of zero gravity. Meanwhile, Ender met a boy named Bean. During their conversation, Ender took a gun from his holster and fired it at a shield. A beam of light came out of the gun and hit the shield, but it caused no damage. Seeing this, Ender asked Bean to shoot the gun at him. When Bean fired, the fabric of Ender's suit tightened instantly, freezing his body in one position like ice. However, Ender was not harmed. A short while later, the colonel used the device on his hand to control the students' suits, lining them up. He then said, "You children must learn to remain stable in zero gravity, because as part of your training, you will play a game against other teams in the school." The sergeant will now explain the rules. The sergeant explained that it was a team battle game. One team would start at one gate, and the opposing team would start at the other. As soon as the game began, both teams would enter the battle room and try to shoot the opposing players with their guns. Shooting a player in the arm or leg would earn 1 point, while shooting the waist would earn 6 points. A waist shot would completely freeze a player and remove them from the game. In the end, the team with the most points would win. However, if any player managed to sneak into the opponent's gate without being shot, that opposing team would immediately lose, regardless of the points. At the same time, each team also had to protect its own gate. "Did everyone understand the rules?" the sergeant asked. Everyone replied that they did. Thus, the children's training at Space Battle School began. The training was filled with hardships. Each day, the students were allowed very little sleep and were pushed through hours of intense training. This included classroom discussions about alien planets, where they learned to understand their enemy's environment. They were also trained in combat to maintain their aggression and fighting spirit. During this period, they were shown video footage of past alien battles every day so they could study their enemy's attack patterns. Months passed after the training began, and so far, Ender's performance had been very impressive. During training, Ender helped his teammates a lot. Because of this, all the children became his friends, and they began to look up to him as a team leader. One day during training, Ender discovered a game on his tablet. Major Gwen had installed this game on Ender's tablet because she wanted to see how he would handle frustrating situations. Ender started playing the game, while the Colonel and the Major closely monitored his gameplay. In the game, Ender's avatar was a mouse. He had to help the mouse cross a bridge, but a monster stood in the way. The monster had placed 2 glasses filled with chemicals and told the mouse that one glass contained poison, while the other was safe. He said that if the mouse jumped into the correct glass, it would reach fairyland, but if it jumped into the wrong one, it would melt. Ender thought for a moment and jumped into the glass on the left. However, that glass was poisoned and Ender's avatar melted. Ender restarted the level. This time, believing that the glass on the right was safe, he jumped into it without hesitation. But even after jumping into that glass, his avatar melted again. This confused Ender, but he did not get frustrated at all and restarted the game once more. Meanwhile, his friend Ali came to watch him play. This time, Ender used his brain differently. Instead of jumping into one of the glasses, he jumped into the monster's eye, causing the monster to die in agony. Seeing this, Ali backed away in fear and asked Ender why he had killed the monster. Ender replied, "Because that's what our trainers want from us. If you follow the rules, you will lose. But if you think outside the box and become violent, only then can you win." The Colonel and the Major were astonished by Ender's thinking, because no one had ever beaten that level of the game so quickly or in such an unexpected way. Just then, Ender received a message on his tablet. In it, a soldier said, "Congratulations, Ender. Seeing your talent, the Colonel has added you to another team called Salamander. Follow the green light and report to your new team immediately." Hearing this, Ender quickly went to the Salamander team's chamber where he met the team leader, Bonzo. Bonzo was short in stature, but his swagger was large and his tongue was sharp. All the team members were afraid of him. As soon as Ender arrived, Bonzo threatened him. He said, "Listen, boy, you've been sent here to train for the battle game. But remember, I've been leading this team for 6 months, and we haven't lost a single match. I know you're a complete jerk at this game, and because of you, we could lose. So during the match, you will stand at the gate and do nothing." After threatening Ender, Bonzo sent him to his room, where his new suit was kept in his locker. Meanwhile, a girl named Petra, the only female player on the team, approached Ender. During their conversation, Ender and Petra became good friends. Petra told him, "Bonzo is afraid of losing. That's why he treats new players this way. If you want, I can teach you some tricks of the game." Ender happily agreed. Since the battle room was open 24 hours a day, Ender went there with Petra. They practiced for hours, during which Petra taught Ender how to remain stable in zero gravity and how to use the gun properly. The next morning, the day arrived when Team Salamander faced another team in a match. Bonzo explained his strategy and then entered the battle room, ordering Ender to stand at the gate and do nothing. However, after a few minutes, Bonzo's strategy began to fail, and his team started losing. Bonzo and two of his teammates could do nothing but hide behind a shield. Meanwhile, Petra used her intelligence to score points by freezing several members of the opposing team. In the end, she collided with an enemy player, which knocked her out of balance. Seeing this, Ender could not control himself. He immediately left the gate and rushed toward Petra. Bonzo tried to stop him, but Ender ignored him and went to help Petra. Now, Bonzo's team was clearly losing. Then, Ender noticed that all the members of the opposing team were gathered near their gate. Ender quickly came up with a strategy and, with Petra's help, began moving toward the enemy team. He straightened his body to make it seem as if he were completely frozen and out of the game. In the end, his trick worked, and the opposing team ignored him, believing that he was frozen. When Ender got close to the opposing team, he suddenly launched an attack and single-handedly eliminated the entire team, winning the game. Seeing Ender's intelligence, the colonel, who was monitoring the match, was stunned. Even the leader of the opposing team praised Ender for his skills. That same night, Ender opened the same game again on his tablet and started playing the next level. In this level, Ender's avatar, the mouse, emerged from the monster's eye and moved forward. Suddenly, flowers and leaves scattered on the ground formed the shape of an alien creature. Ender realized that the alien was about to ask him to solve a puzzle, but instead, the alien suddenly transformed into Ender's sister, Valentine. Seeing this, Ender was shocked. He could not understand how they could bring his sister into the game. Suddenly, bombing began inside the game. Valentine ran toward a castle, but the castle was destroyed by the bombing. Valentine was left trapped in the ruins. When Ender reached the ruins, he saw a bridge in front of him. On the other side of the bridge, Valentine was trapped inside a sphere. A carpet was spread across the bridge. Ender walked onto the carpet and reached the sphere. Suddenly, the carpet turned into a snake. Ender attacked the snake and killed it. During this time, Ender's avatar was filled with rage. Suddenly, he saw the image of his disturbed brother, Peter, inside the sphere. Peter said to Ender, "Now you've become a murderer." Seeing this, Ender threw the tablet away in fear. Not only was Ender disturbed by the game, but the colonel was also furious with the major about it. He said that the game was meant to test Ender's intelligence, not to frighten him. He questioned why Ender was seeing his family members inside the game. The major explained that it was a special kind of game that connected directly to the player's thoughts. Whatever the player thought while playing, the computer turned those thoughts into the game's story. However, Ender was becoming too emotional because of the game. Therefore, the colonel ordered the major to erase the game completely and immediately. Just then, the colonel received a report stating that the aliens would be ready for war in only 88 days. This news increased the colonel's concern even more. The colonel immediately called Ender to his cabin and said, "Ender, you have performed exceptionally well in training and battle games so far. You no longer need to be part of any team. From now on, you will have your own team called the Dragon Army, and you will be its commander." Hearing this, Ender's chest swelled with pride. The sergeant then took Ender to his new room, and saluting him respectfully, led him to meet his team members. Ender's team included some of his old friends, such as Bean and Allie, along with players from other teams. All of them respectfully accepted Ender as their commander. After that, Ender joined them in the battle room and began practicing with great energy and determination. Meanwhile, there was very little time left before the final war against the aliens. Because of this, the colonel's senior officers were pressuring him to choose a fleet commander as soon as possible. The colonel was confident that if anyone could become that commander, it was Ender. One night, he woke Ender's team, the Dragon Army, at midnight for their final battle. In this battle, Ender and his team were forced to face two teams at the same time. Ender immediately began preparing his team for the match. In the rush, one of Ender's team members twisted his leg and was no longer fit to play. But Ender did not lose heart. He led the rest of his team to the battle room gate. There, they saw that the opposing teams had already entered the battle room and had built a wall in the center using shields, making it impossible for Ender's team to understand their strategy. At that very moment, Ender realized that some members of the opposing team were hiding in ambush above their gate. However, Ender told his team to stay calm and pretended that he was unaware of it. Just then, Petra arrived. She had taken the place of the injured member of Ender's team. Ender was delighted to see her. He quickly shared his plan with his teammates. First, Petra used one of the players as a shield, quickly exited the gate, and began firing at the opposing team's players near the gate. Because of the shield, not a single shot from the opposing team hit Petra, and she managed to eliminate all of them. Now, 12 players had been eliminated, but 20 players from the opposing team were still hiding behind the shield wall. Next, Ender tied Bean to a rope and sent him over the opposing team's wall so that Bean could observe their positions. When the opposing team saw Bean, they opened fire and froze him. But this was all part of Ender's plan. Ender pulled Bean back using the rope. After returning, Bean informed Ender that there were many more shields behind the wall and the remaining players were hiding behind them. This helped Ender adjust his strategy further. Meanwhile, the opposing team's leader, Bonzo, was advised by his teammates to attack Ender's team. However, Bonzo, as always, chose to stay hidden in one place. He waited for Ender's team, unaware that Ender was far more cunning than he had imagined. Ender gathered all his team members into a tight huddle. Ali stood in the center, completely covered by the other players. One player then pushed the entire group toward the enemy team's gate. Seeing this, all the opposing players fired wildly. However, their shots only hit the players protecting Ali. Ender and his team safely escorted Ali to the opposing team's gate, securing a clear and decisive victory. The Colonel and the Major were deeply impressed by Ender's brilliant teamwork and were now convinced that he was ready for the final challenge of becoming commander. A short while later, Ender was taking a bath when Bonzo arrived. Bonzo, crushed by his defeat, had lost control of himself. In his rage, he challenged Ender to a one-on-one fight. Ender did not want to get involved and tried to walk away. However, Bonzo attacked him. In self-defense, Ender kicked Bonzo away, but Bonzo's head struck the concrete surface of the bathroom, leaving him seriously injured. Seeing this, Ender rushed to Bonzo and called for help. After some time, Bonzo was taken to the hospital, where he received treatment, but his condition remained critical. Ender was deeply shaken by this incident and blamed himself for Bonzo's condition. He told the Colonel that he wanted to quit his training. It became very difficult for the Colonel to restore Ender's confidence. The Colonel then took Ender back to Earth and reunited him with his sister, Valentine. Valentine explained to Ender that Bonzo was responsible for what had happened. She told Ender that he needed to protect himself in such situations. Instead of running away, he had to face these challenges. She added that one day, Ender might even become a world hero like Commander Mazer Rackham. Valentine's words filled Ender with new confidence, and he returned to space with the Colonel for further training. However, this time, his training would not take place in the battle room. Instead, it would happen at the International Fleet's Advanced Command Base, located on a planet close to the alien homeworld. This was Ender's final training phase. He was told that if he succeeded, he would be made the commander of the fleet in the war against the aliens. Thus, the Colonel, Ender, and the rest of the crew set off for the Advanced Command Base while sleeping inside sleep pods. After a long journey, they finally reached their destination. When they arrived, Ender saw that the entire planet was covered with massive, sharp structures. Even their base was built inside one of these structures. Ender asked the colonel what kind of place this was. The colonel explained, "We discovered this planet 27 years ago. At that time, it was also occupied by the aliens. They used it as a military base. Beneath these pointed structures is their nest. But we drove them away years ago and forced them back to their home planet. Since then, we have been spying on the aliens from here and monitoring their every move." Hearing this, Ender questioned the colonel. "That means you trapped the aliens on their home planet, and they haven't attacked Earth in the last 50 years. So why do you still want to fight them?" The colonel replied, "Just because they haven't attacked yet doesn't mean they won't. Ender, you were the one who said, 'Break your enemy's back so they can never rise again.' We must do the same to our enemy so they can never attack us in the future." He then added, "You may go to your room now. Tomorrow, your training will begin." After this, the sergeant led Ender to his room. While explaining things about the planet, he told Ender that the air there was breathable, but the oxygen levels often dropped. He warned Ender that if he ever had to leave the base, he should always carry an oxygen mask. After saying this, the sergeant left, and Ender soon fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, when Ender woke up, he suddenly shrank back into a corner in fear. He saw a man sitting in his room, staring at him. The man had strange tattoos covering his face. Ender nervously asked, "Who are you?" The man replied, "My name is Mazer Rackham." Hearing this, Ender was shocked. Rackham smiled and said, "Did you think I was dead?" Ender stood respectfully in front of him and replied, "Sir, it is an honor to meet you. But sir, in the war videos we are shown, you sacrifice your life by flying your plane into the alien mothership. How are you still alive?" Rackham then took Ender with him and showed him the full video footage. In the video, Ender saw that Rackham had jumped out of his plane with a parachute just moments before the alien ship exploded. This was how he survived. In truth, the colonel had hidden Rackham's survival so that his supposed sacrifice could inspire young children to fight. Ender then asked Rackham, "How did you know that destroying the mothership would also destroy the other ships?" Rackham replied, "You must have noticed that the structure and nature of those aliens are similar to ants. Ants have a queen. When the queen dies, the other ants stop working and eventually die. In the same way, I realized that the alien mothership must also have a queen, so I attacked it directly, and I was right. As soon as the queen on that ship died, all the aliens stopped. With no one left to command them, they collapsed and died on their own." Rackham continued, "Now the aliens are once again preparing for war on their home planet, which means they have more queens. If we destroy the queens, all the aliens will automatically perish." After this, Rackham took Ender to the training room. Petra, Bean, Ali, and 2 other boys were there to train with Ender, and Ender was their commander. The room was a simulation chamber with computers, and several officers were seated below as observers. Suddenly, the room transformed into a virtual reality-like space. Rackham then showed them live footage of alien activity through one of his probes. He explained that the aliens, like humans, cannot survive extreme heat and need food and water to live. Their planet's temperature is extremely high, so they live underground. However, their population is growing rapidly, and they are running out of living space and essential resources, especially water. Because of this, they are searching for new planets to expand their colonies. Wherever there is water, Earth becomes their target. Rackham said firmly, "Now we must destroy them before they take our Earth from us." After this, he told Ender, "Our real battle will take place in 1 week. During this time, you must train through a combat simulation game. This game will decide whether you are worthy of becoming a commander, so you must play it as if it is a real battle." With that, Rackham activated the virtual reality simulation. The room turned into open space, revealing massive alien ships filled with combat drones. Alongside them appeared a huge machine called the Molecular Destruction Device, or MD. Rackham explained further, "The rest of your team will control the drones, and Petra will operate the MD device. Each shot from the MD has the power of 10,000 atomic bombs. Petra has been trained to use it. Your task is simple. Create the right strategy and bring the MD within range of the target. Once that happens, Petra will fire it, and the device will automatically destroy all the aliens in a single strike." With this, the first level of the game began. They saw 3 alien motherships draining water from a planet. Under Ender's command, his team easily destroyed all 3 ships and cleared the first level. The colonel and the other officers were very pleased with their performance. After that, Ender and his team trained relentlessly in the simulation game. During this time, they were barely given any proper rest. In the next battle, the number of aliens increased so dramatically that they completely surrounded Ender's ships, leaving his team with no chance to recover. The aliens destroyed all of them, and Ender lost the battle. Furious over this defeat, Rackham began scolding Ender. Ender explained that his team had not slept for days, which prevented them from focusing on their strategy, and that was why they lost. Hearing this, Rackham calmed down. The colonel then informed Ender that the next day he would face the final level of the simulation. Only by winning this final level could Ender become a commander. That night, Ender met with his team, and this time, they were given proper rest. The next morning, Ender and his team prepared for the final level of the game. The colonel and several senior officers gathered to observe Ender's final match. Rackham explained that this level was designed to resemble the aliens' home planet. With this, the game began. This time, the number of aliens was far greater than Ender had imagined. There were so many that even Petra's MD device seemed incapable of destroying them all. At that moment, Ender realized that all the alien queens were located on the planet itself. Thinking quickly, Ender ordered everyone to abandon their ships and use their drones to shield Petra's MD ship. His team followed his command and surrounded the MD with drones. Ender then instructed Petra to guide the MD device directly toward the planet. Petra pushed through the massive swarm of aliens and moved the MD closer to the planet. The drones formed a protective barrier around the MD and continuously fired at the aliens to keep them away. However, the alien drones were destroying Ender's drones at a rapid pace, and it seemed impossible for Petra's ship to escape. At that critical moment, Petra reached the target. She fired the MD at the alien planet, and in a single strike, the entire planet was burned to ashes, killing all the alien queens. With the death of the queens, all the remaining aliens also died. In this way, Ender successfully cleared the final level of the game through his brilliance. Ender and his team were filled with joy at first. However, they were then shown a real image of the alien planet. They saw that it had been completely destroyed and turned into a burning furnace. Just then, the colonel approached Ender and said, "Commander Ender, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Because of you, we have wiped out the entire alien civilization." Hearing this, the ground seemed to slip beneath Ender's feet. He finally realized that the last battle he and his team had fought in the simulation was not a game, but an actual war. Upon understanding this truth, Ender was devastated. He said to the colonel, "Now I understand. Those aliens were not preparing to attack us. They had gathered an army for their defense against you. 50 years ago, when they came to Earth to build a colony, you defeated them, found their planet, and have been preparing to destroy them ever since. They never even planned to attack Earth again, yet you wiped them out." The colonel replied, "Those aliens would have attacked us sooner or later. By destroying them now, we have secured our future. You will be remembered as a hero by the world for winning this war." But Ender responded, "I am not a hero. I will be remembered as a murderer." Saying this, Ender tried to leave. However, the Colonel's men stopped him, knocked him unconscious, and locked him in a room. A while later, Petra was in Ender's room, taking care of him, when Ender had a vision of the game. In that vision, he saw the alien creature, which later turned into his sister Valentine, going toward the ruins of a castle. At that very moment, Ender suddenly woke up and ran straight out of the base. Seeing this, Petra put on an oxygen mask and ran after Ender. At that moment, Ender was staring at the same pointed structure built by the aliens, which looked exactly like the ruined castle from the game. Ender realized that the aliens might be able to communicate with humans through thoughts. Since the game created a story based on the player's thoughts, the aliens had been planting their thoughts inside Ender's mind, and the game was forming a story around those thoughts. In reality, the aliens were trying to warn Ender about this war, but Ender was unable to understand it at the time. At that very moment, Ender went inside the structure. Inside, he saw a bridge and a sphere, just like the one from the game. Without a second thought, Ender entered the sphere. There, he saw an alien egg growing inside it. As Ender reached out to touch the egg, an alien creature appeared and dug its sharp claws into Ender's neck. But Ender was not afraid. Instead, he burst into tears of regret. Seeing this, the alien released Ender. Then, through Ender's thoughts, the alien revealed that a queen alien was growing inside that egg. Ender promised the alien that he would take the egg with him and find a new home for their species. Because of Ender's determination, even the Colonel had to bow to his insistence. The Colonel honored Ender with the title of Admiral and allowed him to take a spacecraft. Then, Ender, carrying the Queen's egg, set off in that spacecraft in search of a new planet where the Queen alien would be born once again and rebuild their civilization from the beginning. Friends, if you liked this video and got lost in the story while watching, please subscribe to support us so we can keep bringing you more videos like this. Thanks for watching.